Hi, I'm Kamit Betzalel, a former health journalist, a mom, and a religious Jewish woman. I'll tell you that story of me doing tshuva later on. I started this channel to help Jews around the world stay healthy without giving up Jewish tradition because there's no reason the two should ever conflict. So, in today's video, I want to talk about this digital detox trend. People actually pay hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars to these digital detox retreats. 2 weeks with no phone, no computer, no screens at some remote cabin somewhere. Well, is it worth it? So, a study from Georgetown University put that into a test. They studied 467 people that were living 2 weeks off their phones. I mean, they weren't living off their phone and they're not eating the phones, okay? I mean, they were without phones for 2 weeks. Can you do that? The results 91% improved their well being, their focus, and their mental health. Researchers compared to what they had, those results in this research, in this test, to a 10 years improvement in cognitive decline. So what does that mean? For example, when you walk into a room and you don't remember why you walked into it, what were you looking for? When you look for your car keys in the fridge, then that's a cognitive decline. Okay, we all have it because we have a lot of, you know, overwhelming, tasks and missions in our lives. So we have overload on our brain, and that's along with poor nutrition, our cognitive is suffering from it. Okay. And so those researchers who took the phones from those people, 467 people, they took their phones for 2 weeks, and the results were as astonishing because it was just like having their brain regain what they've lost in 10 years of cognitive decline. Another study from December 2025 found actual physiological changes, not just how people felt, but measurable stress markers in the body. They didn't just, let them fill a quiz after it and tell them how they feel. And here's the wild part. That study found lower cortisol levels in people who quit Facebook. And they checked even people that didn't consistently feel stressed. Their bodies knew before their minds did. So they had cortisol levels, they were stressed out, and they didn't even know how much they were stressed out. They didn't know they were stressed out at all. But the tests show that when they quit Facebook, even though they didn't know they had any problems, they found that they had lowered their stress hormone called cortisol. So people are paying money and planning weeks off just in order to get this. Jewish tradition just built it in every single week. Shabbat. Shabbat is not just no phones, no work, no errands, no travel. It's a full, complete stop from everything digital, everything economical, even everything to do with comparisons. Because what do we do on social media? We compare ourselves to others. We didn't have that in past generations. So on this generation, Shabbat is even more helpful to our brain, to our bodies, than it was during the entire time that our ancestors lived. All the other generations, even our fathers or our grandmothers, even us ourselves, we remember the time where there were no phones to everyone. And There were no social media, and no one would compare themselves to some neighbors, or even not a neighbor, someone they don't even know, a new car, okay, or a new restaurant that they went to. So Shabbat is also a stop from that, from comparisons. And it's not 2 weeks that, a 2 weeks intervention that you have to plan for. It's every single week automatically. As a person who was a secular Jew and now is a religious Jew, I kept thinking about, before I did this transition to being religious, before I did tshuva, I kept thinking about, what am I missing out on this only free day that I have on the week, the weekend, as we called it. But Shabbat, if you're keeping Shabbat, you're not missing out on anything. Science is just now proving what you've been living all along. That heaviness feeling, in Friday night, that's not just spiritual. It's not just your binayatera. Your body is actually doing something measurable. So, how does it all add up? The Torah says fast. Thousands of years later, scientists realize it's healthy. The Torah says rest. Thousands of years later, the science reveal that it's healthy. That's not a coincidence. In fact, I'm sure if you open that guidebook called Torah, you would probably find more things that science hasn't caught up to yet, but will in the future. Why? Because everything revolves around the Torah, which means our biology isn't separated from the Torah. It was built to match it. And that's one more reason to just open it and learn. So if you're not keeping Shabbat, I'm not telling you to change your entire life this week. I'm just telling you what's sitting there inside you, waiting every Friday night. And it's free. And you get all these benefits. If you don't care about anything else but your health, then this is healthy. Maybe start 1 hour. 1 hour from the entrance of Shabbat. No phones, no using money, nowhere to be. Try to just relax and forget about everything for 1 hour. Meditated Shabbat hour, okay? And see what your body reacts, how it feels. And your body will thank you. If this was interesting to you, hit like, subscribe, and share it with another Jew. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one, Bezrat Hashem.